Okay, so there's this new frontier opening up in the art world, and it is sparking some fierce debate, it's absolutely smashing auction records, and it's making us all ask some really big questions about what creativity even is. So yeah, let's dive into the fascinating and pretty controversial world of AI-generated art.
I want to start with just a number. $1.2 million. Just let that sink in for a second. What do you think that could be the price for?
Well, that was the final sale price for a single piece of art, a digital work called Cosmic Dream. Yeah, a pretty staggering amount that turned a lot of heads over at the legendary Christie's auction house.
And here's the kicker. The artist behind it? Not human. This multi-million-dollar masterpiece was created entirely by an artificial intelligence.
Which brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing, the question that artists, collectors, and tech people are all wrestling with. Can a computer program, a piece of code, actually be an artist?
To even begin to answer that, we really need to get what we're talking about here. How is this stuff even made? Because I'll tell you, it's a whole lot more complex than just pressing a button.
So, let's break it down. The key thing to get from this definition is that the AI isn't just a tool, like a paintbrush or a camera. It is an active part of the creative process itself. It's in there making decisions.
Now, it is really important we clear something up, because this gets confusing for a lot of people. AI art is not the same thing as an NFT. Think of it like this. AI art is all about the how the art was made. NFTs are about ownership, basically a digital receipt on the blockchain that says you own something. So an AI artwork can be sold as an NFT, but they are not the same thing.
And this quote from artist Arpkeram Yavuz just nails it. He sees AI as a collaborative partner. For a lot of artists working in this space, it's not about replacing the human, it's about augmenting our creativity. It's like a new, powerful extension of what they already do.
So if the how is this whole new collaborative process, what about the why? Why is this new art form suddenly pulling in million-dollar price tags? Well, the answer seems to lie with a completely new generation of art buyers. I mean, just look at these numbers from that huge Christie's sale. This is wild. Almost half of all the people bidding were Millennials and Gen Z. And get this, more than a third of them were totally new to Christie's. They'd never bought anything there before. This isn't the traditional art world crowd, folks. A new wave is here. And this collector, Daniel Magard, he really gets to the heart of why. For a generation that grew up online in a digital-first world, this kind of art just clicks. It mirrors the reality they live in. It's not some strange new technology to them. It's the language they've been speaking their whole lives. But this explosion in popularity has definitely not come without some intense, and I mean intense, controversy. For every record-breaking sale, you have thousands of voices just crying foul, raising some really serious ethical questions. In fact, right before that big Christie's auction, over 6,500 artists signed an open letter demanding that they cancel it. That is not a small protest. That is a huge chunk of the artistic community pushing back and pushing back hard. And really, this whole debate boils down to two very different ways of looking at it. On one side, you have artists who are incredibly concerned. They argue that these AI models are trained by scraping billions of images from the internet, often copyrighted work, without anyone's permission or paying them a dime. They're calling it the mass theft of labor. But on the other side, you've got the proponents, the AI artists, the auction houses who say, hold on, AI is just a new tool. It's expanding what humans can create, and it's the birth of a totally new art form. So, all of this brings us to the future. With the market just exploding and these battle lines clearly drawn, what on earth comes next for art, and for our very definition of what creativity even is? I mean, just look at how fast this has happened. Back in 2018, the first big AI art sale shocked everyone when it hit over 400 grand. Fast forward to 2024, a piece crosses the $1 million mark. And then just a year later, we have Cosmic Douche at 1.2 million. The speed is just undeniable. This is not a fad. It feels more like a market in hyperdrive.
Which leaves us all with one final, pretty heavy question. As these AI systems get more and more powerful and become a bigger part of our culture, are we watching the beginning of a new creative renaissance? Or is the very idea of human creativity in danger? And that, right now, is the multi-million-dollar question.